Hello Intuitors, it's Aria here, and I'm just about to get into doing a reading for everybody by their zodiac sign. It will be essentially a love forecast for 2019. I'm kind of focusing in on a time period of about 6 months because I plan on doing the reading again maybe once every 3 months or so to see how things are changing. But this is like a long-term love forecast for a larger period of time. However, I will say that I do expect that for every person, it might unfold a little bit differently timing-wise. For some of you, this story might unfold in a really, sooner time frame than 6 months, and some of you it might be farther out. I kind of look at it as the bell curve. So what I'm going to do at the end of the reading, make sure you stay tuned all the way till the end because I'm going to do a really fun pick a card reading that will give you a time frame that gives you a better idea, a sense of how and when this might unfold, because I know a timing question is something that I most often get. When do you see this likely to happen? I will have to say, however, that as a card reader, not only for myself but for others, I have found that because we all have free will choice, and because the energies that are being looked at any given time in a situation can always change based on the choices that you make or the choices the other person makes, that the timing can always be a tricky thing. And so understand that anytime we're looking at a timing situation or even any situation that's being painted in the cards, if it really resonates inside of you and you really feel the truth of it, then it's pretty likely that this is the course that you're truly on at this time, and that if no major decisions are changed, or like some of the things that you have free will choice in or that they have free will choice in, if there's no major changes in those, like where they're headed, that's the direction you guys are going. But of course, as human beings, we do have a tendency to, have monkey wrenches thrown into things. Maybe something else comes along that you didn't expect or see. And so, that can always change the outcome. But at any given time, I think it's actually a very useful tool to take a look at a card reading and say, okay, where are things headed right now? Because if I don't like this story, what can I do to change this? Or if I would like to see this occur, what can I do to make sure that it stays on course? So basically, that's how you can use these readings. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, rising, or your Venus as well, in case one of these readings doesn't really resonate with you. Maybe the other one will. Or maybe you'll get more details from one of the other readings as well. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing to my channel. And we're going to get right into your personalized reading for your sign of the zodiac. And looking forward to seeing you there. Okay, Virgo, here is your reading, Love Outlook for 2019. And we're going to start over here with these 3 cards, which are your where you're at right now in regards to a love connection, a love relationship, or having one come in. And again, this is a general reading, so it can be different things for different people, and I will try to read some different variations, and hopefully will resonate with most of the people who watch it. Okay, so where you're at right now, there is something significant from your past that's kind of front and center here. And there's a connection with this, whatever is front and center, about your past. The connection has something to do with either, this is a person that one of 2 characteristics would primarily apply, either a businessman, CEO, or businesswoman, somebody who's really good with business and very successful in business. It even can be somebody who's very wealthy and has a lot of money, or it can be a feminine type of character, a mama bear kind of person that's very loving and kind and caring and nurturing of her family. So it even could be both, but that's the characteristics of the bear. So that's a person showing up here. And there's somebody significant from your past, and it could be that it is somebody you're connected with currently or somebody who's coming in from the past, but communications is coming in. So we would read this as someone who's connected with your past or coming in from your past who has those characteristics, and there will be conversations and communications happening with them. And this is a love interest of some kind. And that doesn't give us a lot of detail, so we're going to get some more from the houses to see what area of life they are. this person is a very significant connection, and it's, I feel like because the Tower came up twice, it's like your deep past, and it's a very significant communication, significant connection for you, in that the cross card comes up, and the cross is about things that are like your destiny. And there's spiritual meanings to this, destined, things that are destined, but it also has a heavier side, which is, it would be like burdens and things that are weighing heavily on you. So it's possible that there's also aspects of that with this person coming up. I feel that it does have, like, it is weighing heavily on you in some way. This person is weighing heavily on you in some way, because the communication comes up in the house of the coffin, which means there has been no communication. In the house of, you know, silence and inaction is communication. That's where it is right now. So it's like either saying that there really is no communication going on, because this is in the house of silence, but also transformation. So it could be that if there has been silence, it is also transforming, and communication will come in. Again, we still don't see a whole lot there, so we're going to get more from other cards that I'll have to pull. So over here, and where you're headed in this situation, is there is something that needs to suddenly, or that will suddenly occur in regards to home, around something with this person and or with you. And then we have things that are not known, and unseen, or secrets, or knowledge, information. It could literally be that somebody has secrets. There are secrets about the home that suddenly become revealed, or that something about secrets in the home needs to be cut out. Like, these secrets are, you know, for example, things that you don't know are affecting the home in some way, and that really needs to be dealt with. Like the scythe is also like a cutting and a chopping and severing, but it also can just be about things very suddenly happening. My meaning is more sudden. So we do have secrets suddenly coming in, because the scythe comes up in the house of the secrets. And the home is in the house of the mice. So the mice is something that is worrying you and eating at you. So these secrets are really worrying and eating at you. So I feel like with whatever's happening here, and I'm getting a sense that these are much closer in time frame. I don't feel like where, you know, the question that, or the setup is that this is where you're at, this is where you're going. It's like there's something here that's occurring that's flowing right into this, and I feel like it's kind of an you know, a flow, but I don't think it's like necessarily going to be way out in the 6-month period of time here. I think this is coming out soon. I'm just getting a feeling of that, and I got goosebumps too, so I have affirmation. So secrets are also, they're in the house of public meeting. The garden is meeting in public. It is public gathering places. So these secrets are really going to come out, and they're going to end up becoming public. So it's interesting that we, you know, I don't have any cards that connect from here to here. I would have liked to have seen that, because then it would give me some way to figure out how they all interplay. I'm going to go ahead right now into your advice on how to deal with whatever this is in this love situation, because I feel like this is, right now it's feeling kind of heavy, and we'll get more from tarot cards too, but let's continue with the story here. So I feel like this could very well be the same person, because the fox is about work and also being an entrepreneur, but it has everything to do with work. So it can actually be just about your work, and it could be, for some of you, this is somebody you're meeting at work, and maybe you're even in kind of in a relationship with someone at the workplace who maybe even is your boss, because the bear is also a boss. Or if it's not the same person, it, you know, that may or may not be, but I feel like it probably is. There's communication that needs to occur, but this communication has been very hard coming. The whip, so this is the letter. The whip is painful, frustrating. It beats you up. It's you know, goes around and around. It's like coming around again. And so the suggested action is that whatever it is that has been kind of, see the communication here in the house of the birds, I really feel like we're looking at communication having been an issue in this situation. And in your, whatever's happening and developing in your love life, communication has been not happening and not occurring, and it's something in your past. Something, I feel like it's something from the past is coming up, very like making a barrier and a divide between you and this person. And so in order for this to get resolved, there needs to be this communication needs to take place around those, you know, that whatever, because it was stuff that was hard and it was hurting. And if that communication doesn't take place, then I feel like this is where we get this, or even if it does take place, I feel like it could be either way. This communication opens up. This is a can of worms that needed to be opened up and taken care of. There are things that are unknown, and they will come out in public, and they need to be dealt with. You got to have the conversations, and the scythe needs to come in and quickly, you know, out of nowhere maybe even, but you just need to have that conversation and that communication, because this is like your barrier in love right now. And the fox comes up. The whip is in the house of the fox, so here's the fox. Let's see how they might be connected. The communication is with a man, and then it has everything to do with love. So the fox is in the house of love, that whoever's having this, you know, whatever's coming up here and where you're headed and your love outlook, this is just kind of like this really big thing that has to get dealt with. And I feel like it's going to be quite soon. Whereas I'm giving this as a 6-month time frame for love. I feel like that when this gets dealt with, that then it opens you up for love with this person. And that whatever it is, kind of like that punishing, the whip is punishing the fox. The fox is needing to have communication, but there's a lot of love here, and because the fox is in the house of the love. And then, you know, the man, the fox may be you, or it may be the other person. It's maybe the other person, vice versa. But whatever, it's all interconnected, and I feel like there's just a lot of at play here for both sides. I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards, and I'm just hoping to get more of a fleshed out story with this. I'm going to move these down a bit so that we can do that more quickly. I'm going to just go ahead and we'll fast forward through this part while I just pull out some cards so that we can get right to the message at hand. Okay, so I just want to remind you again that this reading, I'm tuning into certain people that this will apply to, and some of you, if you started watching this reading and it's just not your story, then go watch your moon or your rising or your Venus sign, and you'll probably find one there that works, that, you know, really is your story. So again, a lot of these readings will get really specific in stories. That's one of the things that the Lenormand does. I love it for that, but then it also means that sometimes these stories they're not going to resonate. So if that's the case, then check out the other reading. I am doing a general reading, so it's always more helpful to kind of give you, it's a little bit like a pick a card kind of reading when you can choose from your sun, moon, or rising or whatever. Okay, so what we have over here is, I feel like kind of the starting out of this whole scenario, this situation, and what was going on here is balance was needed, and somebody was really standing, but the balance needed to happen, but the way it would occur is by somebody standing up for themselves in regards to what they really want out of life and what they're creating. So I feel like this tower is kind of like about the legacy, you know, going deep into your past and also into your future. And that's what the Ten of Pentacles is. This Ten of Pentacles, and this deck also is the vice versa. And so from this viewpoint, we see the man, and the young people he's talking to is like his children or grandchildren or whomever. And then this view, we see like what they're looking at. They're looking at him. And so it's like, I feel like this is the couple. And this couple standing there and they're saying, you know, what you have, this is what we're wanting to create. This is our legacy. This is very much into our past. And, you know, whether you each have your own story, you each have your own legacy that you're, you know, what you're really wanting to create. This is a destined relationship or partnership. This may be, in some of your cases, somebody you just barely met, or somebody you've been in a long-term relationship with some time, or you will meet. And if it's somebody you will meet, then this may be something of how it plays out. But I'm feeling more that we're really looking at a couple who's already knows each other and been together for at least some amount of time when we're looking at this picture. And they're like, you know, we have not been able to have communication about this. There's been blocking in our communication. And money is really involved here, because the bear is the billionaire, millionaire. He's a rich guy. There's a lot of money involved. And it's our destiny to really have created this, you know, what we're really wanting to create. But some communication needed to occur about it, because I feel like there might have been some disagreements. Someone may have stood up for themselves or needs to stand up for themselves in order to create the balance in, you know, between the two of you. So like, I feel like there was kind of like an argument at play. And then I also get like, that's where this comes in. The arguments, you know, that were causing some blocks in love. So basically what I'm going to be ending up with is like we're going to find a solution of how to work through this for those of you who this resonates with. So there was some blocks, there was arguments, blocks in love, and I feel like the fox and the bear really are you and this other person, and which is which doesn't really matter, but it's all interconnected. There's a lot of love between you, but this has to get worked out, or then some kinds of things that maybe aren't going to be so pleasant will just come out in what could be an unpleasant way. So the Lovers card comes up here, and we are looking at them from the front. And there is, like I said, there's a lot of love here, but there's also some clashing. And then Virgo, I'm getting goosebumps. Virgo, we have the Queen of Pentacles here. And so that's you in some way, whether you're feminine or masculine. But there was a fight. There was a big blow up here. This Five of Wands. And there's even a volcano. There's an eruption. And that really goes right along with the whip. Whip is all about a fight. So there's love here, but there was a fight. There's something that's going on here, and so this is like your suggested action is that remembering the love that's there, because it's all connected with the two of you, and there is love here. Remembering the love that is there and communicating from a space of that love. And I feel like also this man is saying, you need to allow me to say my piece. And the woman is like, you know, she's sitting there on her throne, and she, you know, I feel like she will listen, but that's the advice there as well, because that will bring in the balance. Somebody stood up for themselves. Maybe it was the Virgo that stood up for herself here. Maybe it was the man, but somebody did need to stand up for themselves, but I think that it kind of came to blows. That was important because it will bring about the balance, but the communication needs to happen in order for that love to really be able to flow again. And if we don't deal with it, then it's going to keep on eating at you. I feel like this right here, this suggested action says what to do, but for some reason it feels like there's a lot of resistance. There's, you know, the Seven of Wands is about resistance, and the Five of Wands is a blow up. It feels to me like most of you that this is applying to, you're kind of headed in a direction of not really having the conversations and communication that you need to, and then you'll end up with this something will be eating away at you regarding the home, and it needs to just get, these secrets need to come out, or this information. I feel like more information than secrets in this case. Information needs to suddenly come to light that will help shed a light on this situation for you. But regardless of you know, how much of that story is what happens, I do see that renewed passion and communication comes in. The Eight of Wands is communication, and the Knight of Wands is very passionate. He knows and speaks his mind. He's ready for starting out. So he's ready for starting out the communication that can really help bring this about. And here's what I see. I have the Death card, which is total transformation. So we have the ability to transform this situation, to turn it into something good. And that transformation will come from, I feel that one or both of you really needs to surrender in this, not surrendering to the other person and saying, okay, just let them have their way, but surrendering to the process of allowing this to transform them, yourself, and also to transform the situation and the other person. And then we get the front sides of the cards. So the back sides came up, which just shows, like, you know, this is kind of more the darker side of it. But if you allow these in, if you allow that, the Hanged Man is about surrendering and allowing, and then also like seeing things from different perspective, because he's turned it upside down. So actually maybe that's something that's needed too, is you need to see it from another person's perspective, see their other point of view, allow the communication to come in, and you'll have, you know, renewed passion for that. So stay tuned to the end, where you'll get a I'll do the pick a card reading to get some timing, so you can kind of see how this might play out for you in the timing wise. And thank you so much for watching. All right, now that we're done with that part of the reading, we're going to go into a fun timing activity that will give you a better idea or a sense of when some of the parts of this reading will unfold for you that resonated most with you. So what I'm going to have you do is think about 4 different time frames that feel the most likely happen with this story. For example, If you're like, you know, I don't really see this happening for at least a couple months, then pick that as your shortest time frame. But if you're like, yeah, you know, I really could see this happening within the next, you know, 3 weeks or so, then pick that as your earliest time frame. Then pick out your kind of your latest time frame, and then pick 2 other time frames in between, whether it's whether it's several weeks or whether it's several months. Assign a time frame to each, your ace of diamonds, your spades, your clubs, your hearts, and assign a time frame to each one of those. I'm going to go ahead and do the yes or no answer kind of reading, and at the end of the reading we're going to end up with 2 yeses and 2 nos, and the 2 yeses are going to be your time frame. Let's go ahead and get right into that one now. Okay, so we now have our 2 yeses, and your timing for your question here is contained in these 2 on the ends. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have. We have the ace of spades and the ace of diamonds. So whatever your time frame is that you chose, those are your outliers. And let's go ahead and take a look and see what we have coming up here. Well, we do have quite a lot of love on this side here. It does look like this started out with some kind of love relationship, that you will meet someone whether you have met them yet or not. And it does here say that you just really need to take action. So but not to be impulsive, but there is a new commitment, and it is time, you know, you should take action is what's being recommended there. So you meet someone, you should take action, or they should take action, you both should. And be careful though that you don't get into kind of like a funk about things. Like, I feel like if there's no action that's taken, like the tendency for that, this is a warning here, because otherwise you can kind of get stuck. And because here is also talks about indecision and a lack of faith, and then, you know, having difficulty moving forward in order to achieve change. So it just looks like there's love, but it looks like things are having a hard time getting off the ground because either one or both of you, and there's frustrations because of that, and then some confusion or doubt. And then there's a need to forgive and leave a situation that causes regret. So for some of you, it does feel to me like there, you know, like I said, there was an initially someone that you have met. Maybe this has already taken place. You've already met this person. And if things are really stuck and aren't, you know, like isn't happening, then what's going to be needed in order for you to move forward and get the love in your life that you really want is to let this go. And remember, and it's a lesson learned. And then it does also, again, talk about obstacles that could stand on the way of your success and missed opportunities. So make sure you don't have a missed opportunity come up, because then we end up with the King of and the Queen of Spades, with the Ace of Spades. Interesting. I think there was a lot of love there because we do have a lot of hearts, but all of the hearts that we do have are in the negative position, like in the reversed position, and have their more negative attributes there. So not that that message is for everyone, but that was there for some people who needed to hear it. Now here's another message about how to move things forward toward your love relationship that you, I'm assuming, is your desire since you are watching this video. All right, so we begin out with some, it does talk about not making any big changes because there's financial difficulties. So although it does say that there's success in a new enterprise, so I feel like some of you actually may have started a new job, or a new career, or you're an entrepreneur, or there's just something that you have started at the beginning of something, but it's causing some financial strain at first. And then you end up with a joyful outcome after that difficult phase. So things do turn around pretty quickly for you there. And so just really, you know, that there's a lot to be grateful for in that regard. And but it does here talk about feelings of depression and hurt and anger have caused someone to be discouraged. Look past your anxieties because success will be eventual. Now, whether that's kind of in this the beginning here, or if it's kind of like, sometimes I'll read these and I feel like it's not necessarily that this is the order that it happens in, but this is all pieces of advice that need to come forward for some reason. You do end up having new friends and associates, and I do feel like that if you haven't met someone yet, that's possible that it could even come through the workplace. Be careful that you respond quickly to repair your actions if you realize that you have hurt someone, because it could come back to, you know, kind of like a karma situation where it comes back around. Not because, I mean, you're a better person, of course, than doing it just for yourself, but you do need to watch out for things like that, because that energy of putting out something negative, even if it was unintentional, can come back and then make things difficult for you. So just make sure to put that into place. But you do have a feeling of happiness, and fewer problems are coming in regards to money. And then we do also have a matched pair again with the King and the Queen of Clubs. So that's looking good. Anyway, that's a little bit of a reading for your timing on the end of this spread.